Good morning, folks. Grandpa Greenwald. Today we're going to make some Asado de Puerco. It's a delicious stewed pork with a rich red gravy. So I bought some pork. I don't think it's scraps, but it's it's end cut, pork loin end cut. So we're going to get those trimmed up. We're going to mix up some spices. Some of these spices, not all of them. We're going to mix up some spices and put it together and show you how we do it. Let's get started. It's got some bones in them. We're kind of cut around the bones. We're just going to take this pork and chunk it up. This is going to be really good. It's got some nice fat content that'll render down. Make some good tasting asada. So we got our pork cut up. We're going to add we're going to get that cooking. It takes about an hour to soften that meat up. We're going to put a garlic and a little bit of onion in it, just to add a little flavor to that. We're not really, don't need to put that much, and I'm going to keep them big. Probably going to pull them back out so they're not in the sauce. So that's what we got. We're going to get it started cooking. All right, I got my skillet a little warm. I'm going to start out with a coating of oil in the bottom of the pan. Put a little more. We can pull it out if we have too much. And the idea is to get the pork sizzling, get it browning just a little bit, and then we're going to stop that browning and add a little water and stew this down about an hour. So the meat's a little thinner than I normally use, so it may not take that long to soften up. All right, got a nice hot fire. Let's see if we can get it going. Oh yeah, that's what you want to hear. A little sizzling going on. I'm going to drop these back in after I get the water in. I forgot that. Oh, it's smelling so good with that one clove of garlic down in there. This thing is starting to grab some things from the outside of this meat and make some goodness on the bottom of the pan. Don't turn this down quite a bit, but I do want it to brown. Kind of sear some of the goodness inside. And we went ahead and put in, I'll leave that in there too. We put in all the fat that was on there. We didn't trim any off. We're going to need that fat. That's part of the flavor of the pork. Some people add lard at the end of the process, or they add lard. That might be very good. I just don't normally cook with lard other than some leaf lard for eggs or some baking products. So I just pull the lard out of the meat and leave it, or just leave it in here. All right, let me see if I can turn it up and create a little brownness. This is looking really nice. The pork is starting to release its own fluids in here. I'm going to throw my pieces of onion back in there. I have a cup of water. Now we need to let that stew down a little bit. I think what I'm going to do, or what I normally do, is put a little extra water. Then we'll take it all. We'll put the lid on and get this stewing real good. And then later on we'll take it out, take it off, and let that water evaporate. Alrighty, I'm going to turn the fire down, put the lid on, and let this thing simmer a little bit. And I'm gradually going to get this fire down to barely on. That's it. Let her cook. I did add a bay leaf into this. I'm going to turn this fire up a little bit. It's about ready. Let me take that meat appears to be so I'm going to turn the fire off on this and leave it there just for a minute. I don't want it to burn, but while we make the sauce. Alrighty, let's put our sauce together. So what I did, we normally would use fresh peppers in the pot. Well, my peppers started out fresh yesterday, and I ground the peppers. And we're going to see if we can make this with the ground pepper seeds, shells, everything. That avoids or helps us to avoid straining, I hope. So let's get started with this. First thing I did, I went ahead and pre-measured some spices into the measuring cup here. I have a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of thyme, a half teaspoon of cumin. I have 4 cloves on the cutting board and 1 cinnamon stick, a bay leaf, another bay leaf. I did put one in the pot. Some garlic and a little bit of onion there. I'm going to start out, I'm not sure about that, crushing. These spices need to be crushed. I don't have a mortar and pestle. So what I'm going to do is get a clean cup and go ahead and dump the spices in there. And we'll see if we can crush these with the bullet before we get started here. Boy, that's the way to do it. The peppercorns and everything got crushed. And I'm going to go ahead and put the cinnamon, the cloves, and the bay leaves in there also. And we'll all right, let's get started here. I'm going to use, this was the right amount. This is 6 Guajillo peppers and 2 ancho peppers. So that's going to be our mixture today. I'm going to go ahead and add about a cup of water, a little bit less than a cup of water. And let's go ahead and add our chili spice, our crushed chilies. Okay, that's a good portion of them. I'll do a little at a time so I don't get it too strong. All right, let's go for it now. It's mixing up pretty good. Put that little bit of spice in there. We'll put it back on mix and we'll start chopping some onion. Let's do that. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more water. Alright, let's take a look at it. Boy, that's looking very, very nice. It's quite tasty. It needs some salt, but I haven't put any salt at all in it. Well, that's a good taste. All right, let's see what we got. Wow. That's really nice. A little bit of crispy in the bottom that will release. And when we put this sauce in there. Whoa, I can smell the garlic in there. All right. I'm going to add just a little splash of water with a little bit more moisture. And we're going to put this on and let it go. And you turn it down low. And we'll let her go about 10 or 15 minutes. She'll be ready. So I turned around and was straightening up the counter and realized I forgot to put the spices in. So anyway, I've mixed them in the pot. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water so we can have enough to simmer this down with the spices for about 10 minutes or so. Then we'll draw the extra water off. We'll be ready to go. Look at that rich red gravy. I'm going to start adding a little salt as we go. You know, I'm always a little cautious on the salt, but that little bit will get us started. All right, it's been a few minutes. I'm going to take this lid off and let the asado thicken up a little bit. Had the rice cooking. I'm starting to get excited. Well, it's time to eat. One more ingredient. A little cayenne pepper. Just a little bit. The asado picked up the little bit of spices from the chili peppers. But I like it a little bit more spicy. And we put a little, what is a bed of white rice. Get a little bit more of that sauce there. Perfect. One more thing. With the puttanesca salad. Wow, doesn't get any better than that.